Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Planning and Licensing on the 5th of August. Oh my goodness, the year's just going. And welcome for all those people who might be up at Boardmasters that might tune in and go, I know, let's watch planning, that are out there. So greetings to you too on quite a nice evening. Right, kicking off then, apologies, Duncan.
Right, we have apologies from Councillors Brooke, Morris, Adlam and Councillor North as well.
Brilliant, thank you. I think
okay.
that's everybody else, isn't it, actually?
That is everybody else, yes.
Any interests? No? I'm going to pick this as a bird watching night tonight, so I'm going to say bird watching. Right, meeting management issues. We have somebody up in the gallery who's going to be speaking about application 1 in a few minutes. Right, so if we can just do the minutes. I'm happy to propose the minutes. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Sandy. All those in favour? Brilliant, thank you. Matters arising from said minutes? No? Awesome, right. Right, open session for electors. So, sorry, did I hear your name was Sam? Yeah. Yeah, that's you. Right, we're explained to come down. I presume you've got a piece to say about your planning application. Yeah, so if you can come and sit down there, if you put the microphone on and say who you are and where you're going to be talking about the application, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm Samuel Fuller, Lawrence Associates, Associate Planner, speaking on behalf of PA26 04877. I think I had a chat with Duncan before my hand.
Yeah. It's the number 1, isn't it? Oh, straight.
Brilliant, thank you. Okay, over to you, Sam.
Lovely, thank you very much. Yep, so the proposal before you is for an outline scheme with all matter reserved for 9 dwellings. The assessment, therefore, is mostly in regards to the principal development. As the Town Council will be aware, we're currently within a housing crisis. We're also within a period due to the new standard method where Cornwall Council can't deliver a 5-year housing supply. Therefore, the sustainable development benefits from the tilted balance, as outlined within paragraph 11D of the NPPF, this weighs in favour of the development, and any reason that may be found must significantly and demonstrably outweigh. We considered the scheme would comply with the development plan anyway, with note given to policy G1 and G2 of the Nuclear Neighbourhood Plan, and as well as policy 3 of the local plan. Site is not designated as a local green or open space with regards to policies LE2 and CI3, while having some value, notably for its open nature. This is not considered to be high, therefore considered to be represent a suitable location for new housing. It's considered that the scheme's suitably designed and retain the existing character of the street scene. Obviously, we've got an indicative site plan there, which should show kind of a terrace formation to the front, matching the properties to the east and west, and then 2 plots to the rear. That's purely indicative, but that's just showing, I guess, how 9 dwellings might capably fit on that site. And then in terms of the other things supporting the scheme, we've done an ecology and B&G assessments, and I think we might need an off-site contribution as well in terms of the metric calculations. But in all, we are with the view that the scheme is acceptable form of development, and happy to take any questions you might have.
Brilliant, thank you. We can tell that Broadmaster's here because my laptop sort of grind to a halt already with Wi-Fi usage. Joanna.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Joanna, how are you doing?
Because he always used to be in Cornwall Council. I assume you've looked at what the public contamination report is saying online.
Yes.
Do any of those conditions going to cause you any problems, do you think?
I'd hope not. I think they're the standard 4 conditions you get on most applications when they've found that there's a...
I don't know how long the petrol station has actually been there. Has it been there forever?
Yeah.
It's been a long time, to be fair.
I mean, it's nothing to do with planning, actually, but do you know anything of the history of the site? I mean, it's been this undeveloped piece of land for years.
Yeah.
As far as I know, it's always been wasteland, but, you know, I came here in '84 and it was the petrol station and wasteland then, and everyone cut through to it to go to school and stuff and parked up in the garage. So
did your clients buy it then?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think that, to be fair, I think they're looking to sell it with planning. But yeah, I think they purchased it.
It's not a planning issue, it's just...
No, yeah. I don't think there's been any use on there historically. I think it's just been, you know, a gap. I remember kind of seeing it because I did the co-op application. So yeah, just kind of looks to me as a suitable location. But yeah.
So it wasn't owned by the garage?
I don't think so. They had other land they own, but I don't think that includes the co-op. So it might be is it the surf shop there? I think is there a coffee?
no, because that used to be a bank.
Yeah,
The surf shop used to be a bank. And I think the original petrol station owners, when the forecourt was at the back, did own the site behind. So I presume the co-op bought the site, and I don't know about the surf shop, but because that's been a bank. No.
No, that's fine.
No. I mean, I don't know, because that's been used as a cut-through. Has anyone put in public right-of-way in that, or are you going to keep that as an alleyway?
Yeah, I don't know yet. I don't think it's designated as a public right-of-way, but that's probably something the residents would want. So I guess that's a design consideration when we get to it.
I'd be thinking that would be a design consideration because it's been used for decades as such.
Yeah.
I imagine somebody will go for that.
Yeah, it's a helpful
and it'll just be a battle that, you know, you can avoid if you can just put an alleyway in there to cut through. And more questions? Yeah, go on, Ramona.
Parking is a huge issue in that particular part of Porthbean Road, especially with, you've got the school opposite, haven't you?
Yeah.
I can't see, where is the parking and things like that?
Yeah, I think it's the front. Obviously, you've got the traffic calming element to it on the highway, which is where it narrows. I think there's a crossing point there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think we've done to where the kind of the pinch point is, where you've got that traffic calming measure over the kind of, I mean...
It's not taking too, I don't think it's taking a huge, that's quite a narrow entrance, isn't it? So it's not taking, it will take some parking places, but...
Yeah, so I think there's parking on the other side of that, and I think we tried to do, on that indicative at least, I think it's 1 per unit. I know you've got policy H4, but yeah.
So how many, what's the occupancy and what's the plan, parking allocation?
Yeah, we don't know that yet, just because it's at outline stage, so it'll be final design.
But it's quite hard to give a, I mean, I've heard that question a lot, but you do know, because you can see the houses, so, and you can see where you've put the cars, so can you not just tell us how many in the current plans can the houses sleep and we get the parking things? I mean, I could probably count it myself. If they're 2-bedroom houses.
Yeah, I mean, that's not fixed. That's the problem. We're in an outline, so we don't have a fixed plan. I mean, that's indicative to show you kind of what could be there.
Yeah.
So
well, you're not going to come and show us something that you don't want to do, surely.
No, with outline planning, it is literally an outline planning for 9 dwellings. It will come back to us in actual planning as to how big those houses were. So this is just that houses might go here in principle. That's all this is. So.
But you can't just say, well.
Yes, they can.
Well, they
Yes,
can, but I can say, no, I think in principle, you need to think about the whole site.
Yeah. I think we can include a reference to our planning policy, which requires 2 per household, saying if we think it's okay to have houses on this site, And that's not decided yet. We can
From the looks of it.
included the
But, I
comment
mean-
that we expect to have
Yeah.
adequate parking.
From the looks of it, it's complete overdevelopment for the area.
For this, it looks like, I mean, well, that's one house, so they've got 2 spaces in front of each house at the moment. I mean, if that is a concern. I mean, for me, it is actually reversing maybe on, but we'll be discussing this in a minute. Really, this is asking questions just for Sam. So,
That's what I was doing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're outlined, so obviously the reserve matters are access, appearance, layout, scale, and and landscaping. So those are the matters that get considered at reserve matters.
So, Sam, this separation of the houses into 2 distinct groups, so you've got presumably 7 and 2 in the corner, is that fairly firm, or is that just... It's a funny shaped piece, when we get to it, do we actually have a copy, a block plan to show what the site actually looks like?
Yeah, we've got a red line plan somewhere.
Not sure that's anything we can... It's a really funny shape.
It might be better actually if I see it in the location.
So that's the solution they think. They're just split. They'll have this, if they do it, they'll have an estate basically in 2 parts.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, it's purely indicative to help, I think. But yeah, it's whether what they want to do. I mean, obviously we discussed earlier, I think they might be selling it anyway. So someone might come in and choose a completely different layout. So
selling it with planning permission, yeah. So, I mean, if you look at the size of the houses here, and if you then lay up 7 houses in a row here, the houses that you've proposed are similar size to the ones which are already here, aren't they?
yeah, we tried to follow kind of what
pattern
is already there, and then I think the layout in terms of the footprint is tried to follow, I guess, assumed NDSS.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But they're not, hopefully you're not looking at having direct access along the road onto the road, or are you? No, you're
They
not.
are.
I think you're
No, they are.
looking to have an entrance into the estate, so that the entrance is relatively narrow. It's at the top there.
Yeah, to the top
So
there.
there's an entrance. So effectively, you'd still have the parking along Porthbean Road, I would hope.
Yeah, the parking's
Yeah.
on Porthbean Road.
And then you've got 2 kind of off that access road as well. I mean, that's kind of,
But no, people won't be able to park on the road now.
Why not?
Well, no, because they're parking in front of their drives.
They're driving over the pavement to park on their drive.
No, well, they wouldn't. That's my point. I think, or are they? They're going to have
Yes.
direct access.
Yes, they are. They're going to be,
It is going to be.
and they're going to be reversing in front of the school in so sort of with that's going on. Really, I would have been the parking at the back actually, and having the gardens on the Right. Any more questions for Sam before we bring this up the agenda to discuss? Right, okay, Sam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the agenda, so you won't be able to comment anymore. We might get a nod or a wink out of you if we have a question of that ilk. But you can't contribute anymore, I'm afraid. So, okay, thank you. Thank you. Right, so I propose we bring application 1, PA 26/04877 up the agenda. Second, all those in favour? Brilliant, thank you. Duncan, over to you.
Right, so just to be clear, this is an outline planning permission with all matters reserved. So really, it's as much as anything, you could look at this as the principle of developing this land. We have got an indicative plan, as you've seen, but it's the reserved matters plan could come in really looking like anything, and that would be judged on its own merits. Okay. Right. So we've had a quick look at the red line site. Between numbers 16 and 28 Porthbean Road. You can see the proximity to the filling station. The other nearby dwellings are these here, which is Roma Close. We've had a quick look at the street view. It might be worth having a look again. Traffic calming measures, but as you see, it is a well-used street in terms of local residential parking. Your comments document in front of you shows, when I last looked, there were 9 public objections. They raise a number of issues, some of which are material planning considerations, some of which aren't appropriate at the outline stage, and some of which, are, to be honest, aren't material considerations. But I'll quickly run through what people are saying. Concerns are raised on the impact of the residential amenity of existing neighbours, that's overbearing, loss of privacy, etc. Probably something that we consider more at the reserved matters stage. Highways, parking, again, that is part of the reserved matters, but you can appreciate that there may be an issue with that going forward. They'd also raise pedestrian safety, access for emergency vehicles and just vehicular congestion in this part of the town. There's also reference to the pressure that will be placed on existing infrastructure. I think particularly the GP and dentists is something that we're seeing raised again and again and again. The contaminated land issue has been raised by members of the public, and potential health issues. Somebody seems quite convinced that there is radon gas on the site, but obviously that's not really for us. That's public protection's contaminated land. They have responded, as you'll see from the comments document, and they have suggested quite a robust set of conditions if this application were to be approved. Flood risk has been raised. I don't actually think it is an area of flood risk. It's also been mentioned about the public right-of-way. It isn't a designated public right-of-way. So this path through here, I think it was, if I remember rightly, it was something that was discussed when the current occupiers of the filling station took it over. From their point of view, it's about having access because this land wasn't part of that application, but it was giving this path somewhere to go, which is through that fence that you can see at the back there. So they did take steps to kind of maintain a usable pathway, pedestrian pathway. And then the final point that came up again and again was harm to the local wildlife. And it's probably worth noting that there is a strong difference of opinion between locals and the ecology consultants that have reported on this. One of the key points of disagreement seems to be possible reptile populations on the site, which local people have affirmed that there are, and I believe that the ecology report says that there aren't.
We did additional surveys for that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that's the summing up of the public objections. We've had a quick look at the site, but we'll just re-familiarise ourselves with it. The indicative. Oops. Don't want that. The indicative site plan. Let me get that right out of the way. The indicative site plan, and there. The existing site plan doesn't really add much to our understanding, I don't think. But I think that's the application really. Typically these applications don't have a lot of documents to them, so over to you.
Right. Thoughts? Yes, Joanna?
I think you probably could develop something on this land. I am like Francis, I'm worried about the parking, not so much for the fact, because I think they would not only be struggling to get parking for themselves, but they're actually taking It's about 6 car parking spaces away from the community by doing it that way. If they reverse the gardens and I know we're not looking at the indicative plan, but I certainly like a project to go back. But I really worry about the fact that they're proposing to have a direct access onto Porthbean Road. I think it's not necessary.
Especially considering it's a school there.
Yeah.
I think it's over development for a plot that doesn't need it, and I think Newquay has taken on board the vast majority of new properties. So I think saying about the housing crisis isn't really that relevant for this one. I think it's actually trying to get something that's going to be a permanent benefit for this area, and I don't see that that is.
I hate to tell you this, but they have this thing called the activity balance. It is totally unfair. The number of houses that Newquay is providing, and it makes no difference at all. They just say, thank you very much, Newquay, now build a few more.
Doesn't mean we have to agree with it.
No, but, well, we do. We have to agree in terms of planning policy. So I hate the indicative plan. I think if they reverse the gardens and the access, I strongly feel they should not be having direct access onto Porthbean Road. I think that's completely wrong. Where they can come, they've got an entrance coming in. They can sort of come in and go into and park their cars that way, and then have a green gardens facing Porthbean Road, which would be much more attractive. And not, they still have the green, the green that you've got at the moment. I mean, it's looking a bit tired at the moment, but it is a lovely green area. So I would strongly recommend that they put they don't have to take any notice of this, but that's what I would say.
I've been told it's completely irrelevant what they're saying because they don't know if it's going to be more or less. So, what we're looking at may as well be a blank page because it's irrelevant.
It is a maximum number of houses, isn't it? Is it maximum 9?
The reserved matters.
So it could be any number.
The reserved matters could come back with anything. But I think if it was in excess of 9, then it's really going to struggle. So I think, and 9 as well. It's probably worth pointing out that 9 is, well, in fact 10 is the threshold for Section 106 contributions to affordable housing. So at the moment it just falls beneath that. So that makes me think it would be unlikely that anybody would try and squeeze anything extra on. I think we can.
Why wouldn't they squeeze anything extra to help the housing crisis there, Duncan?
Because then they are going to have to make a contribution to affordable housing, which is obviously.
It can't be. If it was 10, it could be called into committee.
Yes.
Whereas it's 9, it just gets agreed by the officer.
That's interesting.
Yeah, which we've just written about, haven't we? Right. I mean, I'm not against housing here in principle. I mean, because I've with the decades, my children went to Blue School for quite a few years. I never saw any children playing in that space because it was a really rough, almost like a building site, wasn't it? It was rubble. I think it's only relatively recently that it's become green. I know the school wanted it at one point, and they didn't get anywhere. I see the design they're going with. They're trying to keep in line with the buildings which are already there by putting the parking at the front. And of course, when you drive up Porthbean Road, most of local residents have lost their front gardens and have put parking on them, and then they get blocked in by cars, because I've been there with councillors and highways working out the traffic problem there for when the schools come out with the buses. Yep, go on, Sandy.
My main concern is that what effect it's going to have on Roma Court, because they sort of back onto it, if you know what I mean, at the back.
Yeah, there are 2 houses at the back, that one.
Yeah.
Lamorna, you got a twitchy arm there? No, it's not. Thinking face.
Am I right in thinking, though, that in principle, we're not saying you can't develop on this piece of land, which is actually the question we're being asked, isn't it?
Yeah, but the the 9 dwellings does form part of the application description.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I
So feel free to comment on that.
I have serious concerns with what they're proposing to do. I think it will have a very negative effect on the community. If they came back, I'm not against them developing the land, but I think they need a more sympathetic,
Yeah.
a development that is more sympathetic to the area.
I
yeah,
mean, in terms of density,
yes,
because obviously we don't know what it's going to look like at
Not
this
so much
stage.
density. I mean, as I say, this idea of them taking out 6 parking places, removing a green area. I mean, I don't know what it was in the past, but it's a green area now. So taking, whereas you could have the gardens at the back, so you preserve at least a bit of the green area. So I think the indicative plan needs a lot of work, but it is just
For me, it is a density, absolutely. And I would say, you know, we as a committee sit and discuss, you know, or we have in the past, a 1 room extension off the back of someone's house on their own garden for like several minutes, if not longer. And this is a big difference to that. So, you know, I am not comfortable saying that in principle I would be happy with something like this put in that place. And I think the local community have been very clear in what they've come back to us and said.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think for an indication for me is like the width of that road is wider than a house. Which I think says a lot as well. Okay, so I'm going to make a proposal of object. Yep,
Just for 1 moment.
yeah.
Sorry, you're rolling your eyes. I just wanted to say...
No, that wasn't an eye roll. Anyway, go on. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that any proposal needs to, I think, I mean, you may or may not agree with this, but needs to differentiate between the idea of developing but and whether or not, you know, and sort of objecting on the grounds that, no, I don't think it's suitable for development. I'm getting the feeling that, that there are some people in the room who think it could be developed but needs to be more sympathetic, and I get the feeling that there are other people in the room who think it shouldn't be developed at all. And if you do object, I need to be able to know which side of the line I'm on. Does that make sense?
Right.
Sorry, I'm wibbling, but I need to know.
I was going to propose an objection on that sort of layout, that which we can't do. So, but in terms of what Duncan was saying, that yes, we can. It's just like that the in principle of housing being on the site, I think you know, I haven't got an issue with that, and we can say that. But with the design that we're being offered, and for 9 dwellings in that positioning, then it's not working.
But Duncan, does the response back have to be binary? So is it yes, we agree in principle to a 9 dwelling, or is it no, we do not agree in principle to a 9 dwelling?
I think what I'm trying to say is that I need to know whether we're saying this isn't suitable for development, or it is suitable for development, but. So in that term, I guess it is binary. And if you were saying it is suitable for development, but the key thing that I'm hearing is the traffic. Is the parking and the impact
It's
that
not just the traffic, it's the overdevelopment of that land in itself, and moving it from, some people say it's a wasteland, but where all of our houses are, has been wasteland. So, you know, it's a green amenable space that people have. I mean, I was parked there this morning and I saw loads of people walking through it. And I think it's very different walking through that green space and having that opposite a school than it is having 9 houses. So I think where possible, we should retain our green spaces.
So that effectively is, you don't see it as suitable for development. Yeah, I'm just clarifying. That's all.
The Mourner? No, the Mourner's got...
I'm really concerned about the traffic side, because obviously I live just down from there, and in the mornings with the coaches and all the cars parked and people getting angry and people coming out of the school and everything like that, to have another 9 houses with possibly 18 cars, I'm having to sort of, I'm objecting, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Sandy, do you want to say something else?
Yeah, I feel the same, but I also think it needs more consultation with the local residents, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I can see
With
good reason for all
Roma
their
Close.
objections here.
Yeah, I mean, this Roma, yeah, I mean, we've got all these objections. It's the impact then with, you know, these with Roma Close as well, around there. But as Duncan said, I mean, basically, we're objecting to complete development of the site. Yeah. Okay. Well. So, are you going to make a proposal for that then?
What's the word? I propose, that's it. Propose objection because we should retain our green spaces. It's overdevelopment and it's got a school nearby and it's dangerous for current traffic, never mind adding additional vehicles in that area.
Can I just clarify, are you saying you're objecting to any development on this green area, or you're objecting to 9 houses on this green area?
I would like to, today, object to development, because what I have seen in the past is often when the people hear the objection, they have a rethink about what might be a little bit more amenable for the local community and come back with something a little bit more pragmatic. So I would like to object.
Sorry. So, is there a seconder for that? Right. I mean, as far as I know, it's not I know we need to vote on it. Oh, right.
Sorry, I'm not doing anything.
It's not designated as a green space. So, so this is really hard. I think. I mean, because I know the school in the past has had problems with antisocial behaviour on that site.
Should we just vote on it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but there's other things as well. I mean, as I said, it's not designated as a green open spaces. So, you know, it can have, like, the co-op could expand and make it all a car park. Yeah, in terms of voting, so if we want to vote then for complete objection. Right, that's 3. I'm going to vote against that.
So you're objecting to the objection?
Yeah. So to again, no.
Well, it's
Name votes on that.
name vote, yeah.
Yeah. So that's been carried then as objection anyway. That's 3 against 2.
Yeah, and just to be clear, it's a retention of the green space, and you also said the impact that development will have in terms of traffic in this what is very near to school and a busy part of the busy part. Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam. I mean, it'd be going to Cornwall Council. We're just, you know, consultants on, you know, we're just consulted on this. We don't have the final choice. So Cornwall Council might come back with something totally different, and it will.
It's for dwellings rather than dwelling houses, so dwellings can be flats.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's Linden Harrison, isn't it, this area now? Is it, or is it?
No,
it's
no,
not.
it's Hines. Yeah, Hines' area.
If you want to talk to Hines.
No, thank you.
No, I'm this is not going to be pulled in, so you need to talk to the planning officer to convince him, and you need to have hands on deck as well.
So you need
that's
to do
what
the same.
It's something in future for these less than 10.
Okay,
we're
Sam,
gonna have to do
you're very
it.
welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you want to, but I'm sure you have some better music to go to listen to. Okay, thank you. Cheers. Bye.
I just ask if my fellow councillors had disagreed with that proposal, if they would have advised him to go to Cornwall Council and ask for a different answer, because I don't think you would have.
No, sorry, it doesn't work that way.
No.
That's what you just did.
No, it didn't. She just said you did. Sarah said it's down to Cornwall Council. It's down to the planning officer. The rules
Yeah.
have changed.
But that's what you just did.
Yeah, well.
If you didn't like it, you would have not told him to do that.
What? So it's okay for Joanna to say for you to go that you can speak to the Cornwall Council and say, as opposed to I did advise, yes, he needs to see the same. In terms of getting, you know, for anybody, that's just normal recourse. If you want to do something to get it discussed, is to talk to your local county councillor. For anybody. Which is Hines. So,
Yeah, so he doesn't need us to tell what to do.
No, he doesn't. He really doesn't. He's very experienced. He is a very experienced planning officer.
right, okay, so I need to get back onto agenda. So voting, we go back onto the agenda. Seconder, all those in favour? Brilliant, thank you. Have we got any verbal questions?
No, where are we?
Or number
No.
6 for open session
Yeah,
for
no,
electors?
we haven't got any verbal
No, no.
questions.
Active consultations, Duncan.
I'm happy to say there's none. We've had a lot of consultations in
Yeah.
recent meetings.
Yeah.
We haven't got one today, I'm glad to say.
Have we managed to respond to everything that we consulted upon?
I think that you have, yeah. I think the last one was, was it an appeal?
No.
It was whilst I was away anyway, so.
No, we've had a couple of.
Yeah, you ratified, the last one that you did, you ratified it at the last meeting because you'd had to make a decision outside the meeting. So yes, no consultations.
Right, licensing. So we've got the Tiny Tie has been withdrawn.
It has been withdrawn. I don't know the reasons why, but subsequent licensing assured me that a subsequent application would be made, and indeed it is, and I have the documents for it already, but they are different to these and it's too late to add them to the agenda, so we will be looking at the Tiny Tie at the next meeting.
Next one then is the update on the hearing this morning, well, this afternoon.
No, previous planning applications.
We're in licensing.
Oh, sorry, I
We're in licensing.
Sorry, I
Yes.
absolutely apologise. That's me jumping the gun.
8-2. So,
I went to hearing.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure why I was there and you went, since you were obviously able. What I thought was odd, and I hadn't realised, was I thought all committee meetings where they make a decision, the councillors had to be present in the room, and they were clearly all
online.
So it was a totally online hearing, which surprised me. Maybe because it's a subcommittee, the rules aren't the same. And there was basically we made an objection based on noise. They listened to us. So I haven't actually, I must say I went off so I didn't wait for the hour to find out what they actually said. I was desperate to get them to see. But I'm told...
Yeah, so I mean, I did sit and wait. The local residents put up a really comprehensive shout about the noise and the impact of what's been operating at the moment under TENS licences. The presentation done by the proprietor from Brazil and the two managers that... sorry?
Was he actually in Brazil?
Yeah, he was in Brazil from that. I'm sure he was. Because he said at the beginning.
Oh, what is
Because he said he's lived in I think maybe his wife is British. He's called Rodriguez, so and sort of like a sound engineer. But the arguments he was making didn't really hold up to what had gone on already when neighbours had complained about sound and they were given short shrift and nothing changed, and they said it was going to be indoors when the application is for indoors and outdoors. There was and also safety concerns with the egress onto the road system there as well. So the neighbours were listened to, really, and the decision was made that it was great to be able to want to do that, but the wrong site for it because it was very clearly residential and the impact on that.
I thought there were some interesting comments from the local people that was how much the area had improved. Evidently, it used to be a real, because people were always coming up and leaving, and that was thought, which is interesting and hopeful. And it's the wrong place for, a sort of, well, they've just taken over the garage, haven't they? But he was talking about, well, I've got shutters that will protect against the noise, and then he'd say, but the shutters will be up because they need to know it's a bar. So
yeah, there's a lot of contradiction going on.
In terms of what, because they've turned down the application, he can of course appeal.
Yes,
But
they
yeah,
said
you can appeal. I think it goes to magistrates actually.
Yes, he said that at the
came
end.
across something like that. I think it goes to
But he's
magistrates.
operating under a TENS licence, is he?
He has been, but I'd be surprised if they've got any left. And
You have a
it's
limit.
not carte blanche just to do whatever you like. I think the fact that it's been refused on the grounds of noise nuisance would probably colour any future TENS application if they still had capacity to have any, because they are limited in terms of time. But I'd be surprised if they were allowed to include live and recorded music on that now following this decision, because it's quite clearly problematic on that site.
I think they've seen Project 83 success. So obviously we can do that, but it's not the same.
But they had to put wooden barrier up on that wall, because we turned it down first time in terms of that, and and Project 83 hasn't got the adjacent neighbour that they have either. And they were selling it as a child-friendly place that they were going to be raising money for charity. For doing that, and it was very vague, very contradictory, and really, I know best because I'm a sound engineer and I know sound.
Can I just clarify, because what I was getting confused, have they now no longer got a licence to trade? So they can't sell alcohol? Because I thought music was one of these things that you could do up to 11:30, and this was closing at 9:30. So have were they applying for the whole operation?
They were applying for the whole operation.
And I think they turned it down on the basis, but I don't think they could turn it down because of the music, but the whole operation is disruptive locally.
You can get, because what Joanna's describing is that premises up to a certain size can benefit from the Live Music Act 2012, which means that you don't have to have live music on your licence if you're a licensed premises and you're quite small.
What about recorded music?
I'm pretty certain it was just live. It was Fergal Sharkey championed this, the Live Music Act 2012, because he thought that the Licensing Act 2003 had harmed live music across this country, and so this was sort of, if you like, it's another bit of legislation that kind of overlaps with it. But going back to your original point, you can have that dispensation under the Live Music Act that can be made clear that in your conditions that you don't benefit from that, and I suspect that would be the case following this decision. I think that anybody who wanted to play live music or recorded music on that site would have so many hoops to jump through now following this decision.
It was quite, nobody picked up on it, but he kept saying that the sale of alcohol was complementary to the selling of food. But then he said later on that all the food vendors have gone off to festivals. So effectively, I don't think there's any food being sold there. It's just going to be alcohol, because they have got no planning permission. They don't need planning permission. If the vehicles were in, is it 5 metres of the pavement?
So yeah, this is street trading. If you're further than 5 metres from the publicly maintained highway, in this case the pavement, then you don't need. But I mean, I've seen vehicles there that were well within the 5 metres. But unfortunately, Cornwall Council, I think they visited the site once, were happy and weren't that interested in listening to sort of other points of view.
So when Boardmaster's over, all the vehicles selling food can come back, but what he can't do is sell alcohol to the customers of those food vendors.
Yeah.
If there is an appeal, do we get involved at all?
In all my time in licensing, I've never known anybody go to appeal. I'm sure it must happen from time to time. And it's made clear to people who've had their licences refused. I'm 99.9% certain that you go to magistrates.
Yes, he did say that, Kingsley. Yeah.
So I have a feeling it will be the licensing authority that because we are considered another person. We aren't even a statutory consultee in this, although we do get some of our best results with licensing, to be honest. But yeah, we aren't even a statutory consultee. I don't think we would be involved, but I don't know how magistrates work beyond a few taxi drivers that I've had to go with.
And he's a social media influencer with 4 million people following.
I did see that.
Yeah. It's like, as opposed to like the poor little resident trying to get some sleep when, they can't because the music's so loud adjacent to them. Okay, right. Previous planning applications. So Praise Road. Oh, no, before that. You've got something because it's 9.
Yeah, you've got a 5-day protocol, which is the 23 to 25 Barry Road application, which Javier was very keen to refuse point blank.
Well, sorry, I've got my full pushed it now.
8 of you responded. You all chose to agree with the officer's recommendation to refuse.
Yeah. So I'm happy to propose that due process was carried. Seconded. All those in favour? Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you. And then 16 Praise Road. Application was dismissed.
The appeal for Praise Road was dismissed. I don't know if anybody wants to talk about it or not.
I can recommend you reading it because this is very interesting. Because what is interesting about it is it refers all the way through to our policies and particularly the character study. And it basically says, this is what we say about Praise Road, because we say Porthley is a really lovely spot and all the rest of it. And he turns it down on the basis that it is not suitable for the area, which I entirely agree with him. So effectively, what I think where we are now with the neighbourhood plan is that anything to do with housing, so anything to do with if you have a settlement boundary and all the rest of it, is no longer considered valid. But the other policies about protecting the cliffs, about protecting the area and having a character study, those still appear to be valid. Mind you, it may be because he decided to turn it down and he wanted to use it. Yeah. And he did mention, I don't think he said it was a good thing about bungalow, he just said there is no rules on bungalows. Yeah. So it's...
So I'm going to get
you're going to
get a statement done, I think. Having that like to Rice Drive, there's not that many areas driving through that are still single bungalows.
This is one of them.
And and around there is one of them, to Rice Road and is it Lawn?
It's Manure's.
There's some odd little,
Greenbank Greenbank's very old.
Yeah, right. Brilliant. Yeah, so we must make a note of that, Duncan, so because we'll want to reference it later in memory skills.
Yeah, no, I do keep all of these, so
Yeah.
if ever anybody wants one, I do have them to hand.
Yeah, I find these days I need 2 people to make up one memory, or more. Right, planning applications. So we haven't got any on list 1. So list 2, we've discussed the first application, and there's only 2 more. So application 2 is just zipping round. PA 26/04561, 45 Well Way. We've seen so many on Well Way, haven't we?
Recently.
Yeah, recently we have. So this was another one. This was hip to gable lofted conversion extension to the host dwelling with rear dormer, front porch, and the erection of a single bedroom detached annex in the rear garden. Duncan.
To open too many documents in one go. As you say, 1, 2, 3.
Is there a comment about this in the pack?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got one public objection relating to the annex, loss of privacy and light, and they've noted that it's within 1 metre of the boundary wall. But anyway, we'll start off with the overhead view, just to give you an idea where we are in the town, and we'll have a look at the location plan. I'm just going to make that slightly bigger for you. Yeah, so here we are. This is Well Way, and as you can see, the red line site suggests quite a generous plot there. We'll have a look at the street view. So that's the property. It's a 2020 image, but I don't think it's massively different to that these days. I think we looked very recently at, I think it was that one, wasn't it? 41.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we've looked at one of the other way, didn't we?
Yeah, we have. We have seen a few along here, haven't we?
Yeah.
As you'll see, a lot of them have got a habitable loft space. I'm presuming that they are conversions. I've not really looked at the planning history, but I think there are more loft conversions, more usable loft spaces, usually accommodating a bedroom. I think there's more of them than not on Well Way these days. Existing and proposed block plans. Let's have a look at that. I'm just going to make that slightly smaller because there's 2 drawings on the one page here. There we go. So the top one is the existing, the bottom one is the proposed, and you'll see that the key difference is the addition of the footprint of the annex there in the back garden, so you can sort of clearly see there is the keen-eyed amongst you may see that there is a little difference in the footprint of what we'll refer to in this instance as the host dwelling. Okay. Design and access statement tells us this application consists of 2 parts. We're told that the project consists of alterations to the host dwelling as well as the creation of an annex to the rear of the property. And they have made reference to quite a bit of the work being allowable within permitted development rights, but that's their view, and they have had to put in a planning application, so I wouldn't suggest that we give too much weight to what the applicant is saying about permitted development rights. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm just saying we'll make up our own mind about that. The existing site plan, that's that one. Oh, and where's the proposed? There we go, right. So that's the existing site plan. The colour scheme is a bit lively for my taste. A quick comparison between the two, so that's the existing and that's the proposed, gives us a little bit more of an idea about the single bedroom detached annex that is proposed. Changes to the main dwelling are probably better looked at later on when we've got some, as I say, less sort of lively drawings to look at. We are told, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, we are told that there are trees that are going. Let me see, TR4, so that's right, so it's these two that are just in a lighter colour here. Can you see those okay?
No.
So obviously they're going to have to take those down in order to put up the
Do they say what they
the
are?
annex. No, I haven't looked. I haven't seen the detail. The tree officer hasn't been consulted. The detail may well be in there, and I hadn't picked up on it. They've also mentioned that TR5 has to go anyway, and I think that's a health issue with the tree. But we can come back and have a look at what arboreal report there might be if you feel we need to. So we'll start off with the annex. I'm just going to make that a little bigger for us. Right. So you're looking there at the eastern elevation that faces towards the rear of the garden. You can see it sort of benefits from some large sliding doors. You can see from the side view that there is a steel framed porch and a ramp. I probably should have pointed out that the design and access statement says that the annex would be for an elderly relative. North, so that's the side facing the neighbour at number 47. If we go back to the proposed site plan, this one to the north is number 47. So I think that he is, because, I couldn't say 100%, but because he's making comment about how close it is to the boundary, I would strongly suspect. Back to this then, so that's the northern one, so there are windows going on, and
So
it is
those
obviously
windows at back.
looking out onto his property, yeah, where obviously there is no view into that part of the garden at the moment. There's a hint of a fence up there. No, that's a gate, isn't it? Yeah, so I couldn't answer that question. I don't know. It's not referred to, so I'm really not certain. Yeah, so there would be, yeah, so it would be higher looking down as well, which doesn't improve things in terms of loss of privacy.
The garage at the moment would be a solid box with no windows in it probably as well. So it is that creation of new views, isn't it? I'm surprised the architect put them in.
Yes, indeed. Well, I'll just
Because that little window
the
looks
floor
like it could be
plan.
a
The floor
bathroom.
plans require a bit of conversation themselves, to be honest. I'll just quickly say this is the porch here with the entrance door. That's facing onto the garden, onto their own garden, and then the final one, the west, that's the side that faces towards the host dwelling. Okay.
Sorry, can you just go back up a bit? So they've given it a front door with a letterbox.
I wouldn't read too much into that. Letterboxes aren't kind of planning, but we will have a look at the floor plans and probably continue. I can see where you're going with this,
Yeah.
and the floor plans are well worth looking at in terms of that conversation.
From the outside.
Corrugated metal roof, charcoal timber cladding, It says black windows. I think they mean black window frames.
Is it like for your local neighbourhood vampire moving in? Yes.
But anyway, so that's the elevations. We'll have a look at these. We'll have a look at these floor plans. Let's just think. Did I put that? Yeah, I think I might put this together because the documents, to be honest, were all over the place. And in fact, that's not the annex. Oh, sorry, I'm looking for my floor plans and I can't find them. Ah, that's where they are. Right. So that's your annex. You've got the porch entrance, you've got a bedroom, you've got a bathroom, you've got a living area, and importantly, you've got a kitchen as well. I mean, we wouldn't doubt their intention to use it as an annex, but with all of those features, it does present as being able to function quite independently from the host dwelling. The Chief Officer's guidance note does say annexes need to demonstrate that they still have a functional relationship with the host dwelling. This could operate, the host dwelling could burn down. This could still be quite a livable unit because it's got a kitchen, it's got a living room, it's got a bathroom, it's got a bedroom. So this is slightly unusual in terms of annexes.
Can I ask what I think I know, but I just want to check what the intention is between that functional relationship, please?
Do you mean what constitutes that functional relationship?
No, what problem are they trying to prevent or solve by creating that rule? The whoever you just referenced there, who said that there has to be a functional relationship between.
Sorry, that's the Chief Officer's guidance now.
So what problem is the Chief Officer trying to either prevent or solve by saying that there has to be?
It's the creation of a second address.
Right.
It's the slipping under the radar, whoa, our plot is now subdivided and we've got 2 dwellings on it. Let's sell one of them and cash in.
But is that through creating a new separate property, as in a new address, so a kind of number 37B type property, or is it Airbnb, summer rental thing, or both?
They come under the same use class C3, so there's no, there is. It's, I mean, what the perhaps the best way to put it, Joanna might disagree with me, but the best way to put it is subdivision of a plot. You've got one plot and you subdivide it, it's now 2 plots. With an Airbnb, you wouldn't necessarily be doing that.
I've seen planning applications where they have rented it out for years, or they say they've rented it out for years, and that is their justification of turning it into 2 plots. And of course it adds a lot of value. I mean, I don't mind people adding value to their property, and I don't mind people, I mean, to me, if they have an elderly relative, that's fine. It's unusual to have a kitchen there. A big kitchen, where is the kitchen in that?
I think it's this one where it says W06.
Yeah. So it's quite a big kitchen. It's not a sort of microwave and a kettle. And I've got no objection to people actually moving into the bathroom.
It appears to have a kitchen island even, so that is quite impressive, isn't it?
If it's actually going to be, if it's actually going to be overlooking the next door property, I have a problem with it.
It's got a bar.
It has, yes. So it hasn't got a kitchen.
It's got a bar here though. Yeah, but that's a window. So the windows at the back then, that little window is a bathroom window, which we can stipulate for being opaque glass, fuzzy glass. and sort of the kitchen window as well. But I thought they would have been better, quite frankly, not having that window and actually making a much bigger window on this side, and because it's got the skylight over it, so there's light getting in, so there's not an issue. Yeah, so that's a skylight, that's one, and that's one there. So there's 3 skylights, but they're not big. I mean, a corrugated iron, it's not very aesthetic, isn't it? And in these temperatures, having an elderly relative in a metal box, I wouldn't have thought the materials were particularly appropriate either, or sustainable. Do we have any? What about? Let's look at see what's happening to the main house. See if we can get that one bit.
Right, okay, so they're looking at changes to the first floor layout, effectively taking a very small habitable space and making it much bigger, and roof replacement, which involve alterations to the roof profile. So I think I managed to put all these onto one document. There we go. Right, so if we look at that, right, okay, yeah. So I have chopped about with their documents a bit because the plans and elevations are all over the place. So the top, this is the south. So this is one of the side elevations facing the neighbour on the other side. Not the one that the shared the boundary with the annex, but on the other side. So yeah, top drawing is your existing, bottom drawing is the proposed. So you can see that the roof profile has changed a lot. We've got gable ends instead of hipped roofs. We've got the addition of dormers. Obviously the chimneys have gone.
And new windows though.
Yeah, and there are new views.
Is that, sorry Duncan, is that a win? Can you look at the screen a minute? Is that a window here, or is it? This is creation of another new view.
I think that's a bay, but we can. I think that's a bay window.
Yes, it's going to be a bay window. So that's going to be.
Yeah, so it'd be the side of this, wouldn't it?
So can we see if the neighbours have got windows on that side that they're just going to be peering into?
Let's have a look.
It's when you go zipping up and down, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're going to struggle really to see if that's. I mean, they look quite close together, so there wouldn't be.
But some of the houses in Well Way have been. That one next to it looks like it's been very, very enlarged. You know, right next onto this one, further up.
Yeah, no, that's not my worry. It was those windows on the side when they are right by the neighbour. If the neighbour does already have a window there,
But
effectively it's going to be
it is worth noting, I suppose, that this house is sitting lower than that one anyway.
as well. Yeah.
So that would probably mitigate against any overlooking. I can't tell if there are windows on that side. I don't think we can from this.
No. So can we put that? No, make a note of that if we're thinking of the house. So have we got any issues with the house alterations, apart from my concerns from the windows on the south side?
Do you want to have a look at the rest of the elevations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's already...
That was the side one. That's the other side. So there were some windows, but you're now creating views. You're now creating views at. I mean, that looks like first floor level. May well be a stairwell, looking like by the shape of it, but you have increased the views on that side. This is the rear of the property, so there are already views at first floor level. You can see that they've put a almost full length dormer along that rear, what is now a pitched roof rather than the gable-ended roof. They've put a full-length dormer along that, and then this is probably the important one. This is the west-facing. This is the front. So you have a small terrace that's been created off this dormer section that's built here. So it's not a massive change in the footprint, but there is quite a
Change in mass.
change in the. I think there's a little bit of a height change, but there's a big change in the scale and mass, the bulk of the house. Whilst the footprint doesn't change
Becomes
that
a
much,
house,
the bulk of it does.
Becomes a house. Do we have other pitched roof houses in that area? Well, it's the flat roof one down there, isn't it? Which we've.
There's a variety of. It's quite eclectic. It's quite
The one that's
eclectic.
next door to it, that looks like it's been converted already. So
Yeah. So this looks a similar property, but that's definitely an add-on, isn't it?
Yeah, that is at the
Is
front.
that next door?
No, it's 2 up.
So the one that.
Oh, no, it's next.
No.
it's
So that's
next door.
40. That will be 43,
Yeah.
and that's 47 over there. Yeah. So that's 43. That white one.
Yeah.
Let me just have a look at that, because that looks like it's a lot bigger footprint, and then look at the location plan. So there are not many that have done it, but
No.
then of course you've got the big white, it's not a long way from that big white one that's done
Yeah.
on the road.
Yeah, I mean,
See, that's
but
a house,
you
isn't
really
it?
have got quite a, you've got these mono pictures, you've got quite a sort of a rich variety of housing along here.
And it's quite tight. I mean, it is quite a
I
big
know.
bulky thing that they're proposing, but the current home is quite tight.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the points that they make in the application documents.
So the balcony, how's that going to be impacting with the neighbour as well, with next to it for, it's going to be looking straight down into their,
There's quite a big gap with the next neighbour according to the site plan, the block plan, because they've got a couple of outbuildings or something on the other side.
so yeah, so it'd be, it's the balcony here, looking down into their bay windows there, isn't it? And of course, this is higher up, and this is south of that property, so it is going to be causing a large increase in shadow for the property to its north.
I think it is interesting that the annex seems to back onto 2 outbuildings on the next. We can't see what's there. Can we?
I presume that's the garage, aren't we? And
Yeah, I think that's the garage that we can see
Yeah.
from the
yeah,
street
and
scene.
they've got a garage there,
Oh, yeah.
so that's.
Windows, which are, what was it, the bathroom and the kitchen.
Yeah,
You could have obscure glass and you wouldn't lose anything.
Yeah, the steel glass.
Floor plan of the property. Oh, and I've got as well the roof plan, which was yeah, I couldn't get a line drawing of the roof plan, but that's the yeah. So that will be that dormer at the back. And obviously it's gone from being a gable-ended to a hipped roof to a gable-ended. I'll just zoom in on the. Just to have a look, that's the terrace that we're looking at. So
Quite large, isn't it? Really?
yeah, so at the moment there's just a bay. This sort of sits on top of where that bay is. looks like that one that I suggested looked a bit like a stairwell one is actually the bedroom is actually the master bedroom.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the only window. Oh no, it's got, of course, because it's got the ones at the front. But yeah, that's
Yeah, it's the only window on that.
I mean, there's no boundary treatment or anything like that, but
I think we could make.
well, there's a standard condition
Yes.
that Cornwall Council put on to do with
Yeah.
who can be in there
Yeah,
and how long they can be in there.
yeah.
This space allows the elderly grandmother to live in the rear garden.
Like in the.
I think that could be better expressed.
We can't.
And the annex.
Well, I mean, you can say I want this, but the officer might say,
Yeah.
well, there is no overlooking issue in his mind.
Well,
But
if you want to say that, yeah, in terms of, you know, an overlooking issue, and we haven't seen anything in terms of renewable energy, so we want all those G2 statements going in there.
Is this one of these
And do,
single developments that, in terms of appeal, would it go straight to appeal without us putting anything further in?
I don't think it even goes to appeal, does it? I don't
No,
think,
but
yeah.
if the officer chose to turn it down,
it's planning permission.
so
It's not. It's not a householder application.
No, so it's a household application where we can't put things in.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to understand the new
Yeah.
rules, so.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, until that-
householder, we don't have a seat at the table. A planning permission, we potentially do if
But
it,
this
if
is
it
a
went.
decision by
Yeah.
planning officer because it won't get,
Yeah.
there's no chance of it getting to committee. It's less than 10 houses.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
you
it
know,
won't, yeah. So, yeah, G2 statements about renewable energy and BWATs and all that. And also, if they're taking 2 trees down, to have 2 replacement trees put in the garden as well. And we've got no drainage policies, so can we have some, we've got no drainage statement, is there, in this? So, yeah, in terms of drainage treatment on site, because they're putting a bathroom in that, as to where all the drainage and the soak away and that sort of thing's going in the garden, not into the mains.
just don't want to check. You have to really interrogate these things, don't you, to actually... So let's see if it does say anything. Drainage, one. Right, so it says the bathroom and ensuite are located to the rear to work with existing drainage. No, so that's just about where the foul water goes.
Yeah, so no grey water drainage from the roof, have they? They've got nothing on that. So, you know, water butts and that sort of thing, or a soak away in the garden.
And I'm gonna assume that you would expect a standard annex condition
Yes, please.
about
Yeah.
the occupancy of it.
Yeah.
So that if they did start Airbnb-ing it, they would be in contravention of their planning permission.
Yeah. And if it can be checked for accessibility, if it's an elderly relative that with daughter.
It does have a ramp.
So yeah, ramp, and that it's suitable indoors as well then for that spatially.
And we wouldn't want it to be a separate address.
Yeah, that's what the annex agreement statement was. I can't say I'm impressed with the building materials used. In terms of if they really want to put an elderly relative in a metal roofed, black, fully heat absorbency pot roast shed. I don't know if we can comment with that with the planning officer in terms of the material suitability for materials for going into the future with that at the moment.
I mean,
with climate
normally
change.
materials would be to do with the character of an area, and what you're talking about is kind of a construction issue, which is a building control matter. I mean, you can mention it.
Can you mention it, please, Duncan? I think something could be, you know, even actually if it was a full timber dwelling, it would be a lot more, you know, my neighbours live in it.
I don't know what the... I know it's got a metal roof and it's cladding on the outside. I don't know what the frame is.
Well, you pick up that metal sheeting from Mole Valley for cow sheds, so... right, so voting on that, so that was no objection. All those in favour, no objection. Yeah, brilliant, thank you. Brilliant. Okay, so application 3 is PA 26/04751, thatched cottage at Trininic. So I presume we're in the area of the tavern. Demolition of existing dwelling, erection of 4 dwellings, 1 replacement. So this 4 dwellings instead of 1. Duncan.
It used to be such a nice sort of little enclave, a little sort of countryside enclave in the middle of Newquay.
It was really bizarre down at the tavern, wasn't it? Because you did get, it was like going out to the pub at Cubert, Smugglers, out that way. It gives sort of impression. Gosh, it's a long time since I've been there. They used to do a very good quiz night. The groups of teachers always used to mop up though. Long time ago, 90s.
Okay, overview. Yeah, as you sort of suggest, the very close, adjacent to the Tavern Inn, there is a. It says in the design documents that it's located on the road from Witch Hazel Way to Melonbrain Lane. I don't know if those are particularly... Yeah. But so it's this here that they're referring to. But that is actually a registered public right-of-way. It's not a road, it's a public right-of-way, which I think is probably why the Ramblers have been included. Who else was included on the... Yeah, public rights-of-way team and the Ramblers have been included on this as well. So just have a quick look at the location plan. I'm just going to zoom in quite a lot on this. block plan and location plan are both on the same document, and they're wildly different sizes. So there's your tavern. This pathway here is a public right of way. That's the grounds, and this is the thatched cottage here. Not got a brilliant street view of it, but you can get the gist of it. So there's some new development. Obviously, we've sort of kind of mentioned that there's a fair bit of development that's taken place around here. You can just, if we zoom in there, you can see the thatched cottage is sort of very, very long. I mean, it's referred to several times in the application documents as dilapidated, but then where it says is the property currently vacant, it isn't. It would, they've kind of said no, somebody is living there.
So,
The commentary seems
is it
to agree
listed?
that it's dilapidated from the people who are objecting or
well,
commenting.
just because it might need re-thatching and a coat of paint, and somebody's living there. I mean, people walk my house and it's pretty dilapidated, but it's built in 1766, and I've just had some new fascia boards done on it. But I'm not listed. But a thatched cottage like that by the tavern, I thought it would have been listed. It looks
There's a heritage statement that accompanies this. I
Okay.
haven't looked at that in a great deal of detail.
Okay.
I was slightly surprised that the heritage officer, the heritage team haven't been included on the consultees.
Oh, I'm going to. You keep going, Duncan. I'm going to look up to see if it's listed.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it is, just because Newquay's got so few.
Hang on, let's go up on here.
Most of the objections are talking about the access, because it's the sort of top of the bridleway.
Yeah, and it is
And
it's
the
a.
effect on the properties of Luxon Drive.
Trying to see if I can see anything that's... I think it's a given that it isn't listed.
Well, you'd be surprised, Duncan. Right, okay, so.
Right, okay. That, I don't know what the, that does look like a dilapidated property. I
But
have
it's
to say.
it's an old cob property.
Yeah. Well, just to, I guess that backs up what they're saying. It might be neither here nor there, but it is in a bit of a state, and it sounds like the neighbours have said the same. Anyway, right. I was going to have a look at. Let's just zoom back a little bit. Yeah, no, I think there were five. Were there 5 objections there? There's 6 comments. 5 of them are listed as objections. Right. So let's make that slightly bigger. So that's what they want to do with the site anyway. Yeah, that doesn't really help us much, that one. So we'll just focus on that one to start with. So you've got 4 separate dwelling houses being created here. There are 2 1-bedrooms. I think those are the 2 at the front, and there are 2 2-bedrooms, and they're the one sort of at the north end of the site. If we look up, you'll see we've got houses here, and these are on Luxon Drive. They're probably apart from these new developments, they're the closest properties to it. So, proposed site layout. Yeah, 1 and 2 pretty much occupying where the existing cottage is. 3 and 4 at the top there. We'll have a look at the elevations. They have provided some, I mean, they're really quite useful, I guess. They're quite nice nicely put together, sort of kind of CGI ones, which I do like, so they do help a bit. Right. Front. Right, let's start with this one then. Just make that slightly bigger. So the top is your front elevation. So that would effectively be facing the tavern. So if we look at that location plan again, so this is the front, and they're facing towards the tavern. Okay.
So where's Luxon Drive?
Luxon Drive is the other end of the site. It's more, Luxon Drive is, it's easier to see when we look at 3 and 4, because these are some way away from Luxon Drive, properties 1 and 2. They're closer to these properties, Berwyn, Mallorca, and they look towards this place called Orchard House. So yeah, going back to that, you've got your front elevation facing the tavern. You've then got your side elevation, which faces towards the public right-of-way and that new house at the front that we looked at. So it's facing kind of in this direction.
Into the back of that house?
Into the back of that house, yeah.
Sorry, can we just have a look at that plan again in terms of relation to that house? Sorry.
No, that's fine. So if that house is, I think it's this one here.
Right.
So there is a little separation, possibly more than there was with the cottage actually. I think that the cottage went right up to that red line. So it looks like there's more separation, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
So are they creating new windows backing on to looking into their neighbour? Because the cottage had probably solid walls, didn't it, on that end?
yeah, so the only one I can really see
Is that
there
one?
is that one. Got the
Okay.
bird box up there, but it's only really that one, I think.
But the balcony from the two behind, are they going to be able to look down into that neighbouring property then?
Let's have a look at that location.
Actually, it's quite a distance, isn't it? No, it can't. No, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's fine.
No, they can't. Right, so the other one then is that's the rear elevation. Mm-hmm. So that's facing towards Orchard House and these properties here.
Yeah. And what are they doing at the back?
Oh, sorry, that's
Because Luxon Drive properties back onto it, don't they?
so that's probably when we look at plots 3 and 4, because they're
Oh,
they're
okay,
close.
right.
So
Right.
this is the rear of the
Oh, I
two
see.
smaller one-bedroom properties.
Yeah.
So that's the rear, so that's facing across the way in the opposite direction to the tavern, and then that side elevation. Is it coming from outside?
I don't know. It seems to be. I'm picking up like.
Is that microphone on now?
No, I think it's downstairs.
Go and see go and have a quick chat with Martin.
Is Martin okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, change frequency.
While we're doing, it's a very interesting heritage report they've got here.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at the heritage
Very
report. I do
long.
apologise.
It's got every room. It's a shame, really. They think it's a non-designated heritage asset. But it's in terrible condition.
Is it?
Yeah.
cob building, which it looks like it is, it would take so much because it's
2 cottages originally.
how it wasn't listed. Goodness knows, really.
It's probably on the heritage record. They don't say if it is or not.
Sorry, public, if you're. Oh, that's off. Yeah,
That's
thank
a
you.
bit nicer, isn't it?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, Duncan. Right, keep going.
So that rear elevation is the one that's facing in the opposite direction to the tavern. I think that's the
Right.
tavern that you can see there, that kind of large sort of white coloured shape there. And then the side elevation for this one is, so that's facing up the plot towards plots 2 and 3. So it's facing this direction.
Right.
So we'll have a look at plots 3 and 4. These are the 2-bed plots. These are the ones that are closer to Luxon Drive. So it might be worth looking to start with at the rear. Now, you'll see that you've got this these kind of blue outlines. This is because the application had been subject to a pre-app application a little while ago, and it was for two-storey and 2 3-storey dwellings.
Right.
The officer's advice was that it would be an incongruous form and pattern of development, and in order to move towards a positive outcome, it was strongly recommended that it said these dwellings be reduced in height by at least a storey.
Right.
That suggests to me that the 2-storey one will become 1 storey and the 3-storey will become 2. That's not what's happened. They've all settled at 2 storeys. So they've taken a storey off one lot, but not off the other. But as you can see, that they were quite a lot larger. These would have been the 3-storey ones here.
And which are the ones that are near Luxon Drive?
These are
Those ones.
So
So how far away are they from Luxon Drive?
There's those houses behind here. Yeah. So it's a distance for a garden. I mean, looking at it, it's the whole garden distance, isn't it?
do you want me to see if I can get a measurement? Or
Yeah.
it's the back of the side.
Well, there's the houses there. So
Yeah, I might be able to
they're not that far away. Oh, and it looks like there's a tree going as well, isn't there?
Well, yeah, that's another question in itself, to be honest.
But they're saying it's going to block their view, which is tough. It's whether it blocks their outlook as well.
Well, that's the thatched cottage, that's the site. Right, so it goes right up to the back of the site. These are the back gardens. So it's
Yeah.
it's not a massive distance.
No, those gardens aren't that big. What looks
it
on a...
backs up onto the gardens, and it's only 12 metres from the actual houses.
And did they have a bulk? Well, that's not far at all, is it?
Have a look, make sure that we're not making this up. No, they really do almost back onto to those gardens. So that's probably at most, that's probably about 15 metres.
And what windows and things have they got on?
Let's have a look at the rear of it.
I think that's close enough to be called outlook. Depends what they're looking at.
You see there, they've got those big windows at the rear, haven't they? Oh, small windows.
So they've only put windows on at ground floor level there. I think that's a solar panel by the looks of it. And I mean, you can see why a 3-storey house would have been absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, the
there.
outlook for the people behind would have been
So it has
pretty
been,
hideous.
they have improved from their
Yeah.
original proposal, and that does appear to cut out the overlooking aspect. So that's the rear, probably the most important one. That's the side elevation of plot 3.
So that looks over into the tavern,
So
or the
that
other
looks
way?
That looks towards the tavern, and then the other one looks towards this. I don't know what Orchard House is, but the other one looks towards
Yeah, on the other
Orchard
side.
House.
And is that parking underneath that then?
No, I don't. Where did you mean?
Sorry, go back to where we were.
Pre-arm. Yeah. So I just silenced that. So we were looking at the right. Hang on a sec. Did you mean this one here? There's, as far as I can tell, they're intending 4 parking spaces on the plot. Let's just have a quick check. Yeah, they're intending 4. And one is just tucked in behind that new development there, sort of right on the boundary, and then the other 3 are in a line here, sort of separating the two buildings.
That's quite tight access, I would say, into that lane.
Well, this is the point. They have consulted the Ramblers and the public right-of-way team because, other people use it, obviously. But
And you've got the pub next door, haven't you, that you have to go
but
past?
This is not a road. It is a public right-of-way. So
Yeah.
the public right-of-way team, I expect, will have something to say about that. I don't know if they would be okay with it.
Why only 4 spaces?
Why only 4?
There's 4 dwellings.
The one-bedroom properties. If we're looking at our policy, the one-bedroom policy, the one-bedroom ones would only need 1 each. But with our H4 policy, we would look for 2 for the two bedrooms. Whether we could insist on that, I don't know, but it does fail that policy. So,
Is there any notions of drainage on that? Being it's on a slope. The people are talking about flooding down the lane, aren't they? And can recycling, could a fire engine get down there to those properties? I don't know.
fire engine maybe not, but probably a fireman with a hose probably could.
Fireman with a
I
hose.
imagine.
Bless him, trundling down the hill
Yeah.
with a
I
long
can have
hose.
I can have a quick look at the DNA statement, just see if it says anything about drainage. No, so it's not mentioning drainage there.
That is a concern, isn't it, as
Yeah.
well? Because that's
I'll have a
quite a
look
lot
at the
of
plans,
impermeable surface going up on something which, for 4 compared to 1, to have no drainage statement on that small site, you'd expect
Right, we've
something
got a couple
to
of
be...
references here. Right, so I think that it's referring to our policy. Cornwall Council policy on drainage about SUDs. So I'm presuming, I haven't seen them, but I'm presuming that they have taken account of that. Because otherwise I don't see why they'd be quoting the policy, to be honest.
Or to not do it for unsuitable site. So what are thoughts on this? Is anyone going to go...
Well, I'm worried about...
Go around and make a proposal. Yeah, do you want to...
I wasn't going to make a proposal, I'm just looking at the comments. There's a lot of commentary on the problems with the access.
Yeah, there is.
So I'm not sure what that is. You need highways to look at it. I don't even know who, it's a footpath, that's the problem, not really suitable.
The Public Rights of Way team have been consulted.
What did they
Yeah, but
say?
there's more than that, because you need highways to look at it, because they're adding at least 4 more vehicles going down this and it's a footpath, it's mad. So they're worried about that. They're also, 1 or 2 of them are worried about being overlooked.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Birkin she's saying, got 3 near houses near the site. I've already had my privacy seriously impacted. This will it's obstruct daylight to the rear of my property, and I have very little sunlight impacting my rear garden and plants, etc.
So that sounds like a Luxon Drive, doesn't it, if they're talking
Well, I'm
about
not
rear
sure that
garden?
is Luxon Drive, is it?
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
I think that's one of the houses that's nearby.
Oh, it must be.
And Luxon Drive is a separate complaint, where they're saying,
There's there.
which side would it be?
It's really hard to know.
I mean, I think they need to do a lot of checking on amenity for this. I mean, I don't think we're in a position of saying,
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't feel that there are still a lot of questions that need to be answered. I also feel it's quite disappointing that there's no, I don't know if we can actually raise this, but there seems to be absolutely zero recognition of the historical impact of that site that it has. And the houses are just, I mean, they're very lovely houses, they look nice, but are they really appropriate for that space from a design feature perspective? But I think there are more issues, things like the flooding, the access to the road and things than. I don't know. I don't normally object quite so much, I don't think. I think I am quite objectionable, but I don't think I normally object so much. But I think I might be. I just want them to think a bit more interestingly about this.
I think I would support that. I support that because I think there are issues that haven't been resolved. I don't think, I mean, I'm looking at the heritage statement, which is very interesting, but the thing's a wreck. But it's 4 houses in quite a small site. Absolutely affecting the residential amenity of adjacent buildings, with concerns about the suitability of the access for that number of houses.
And the amenity space for people in those houses.
It's the sort of thing I would like to talk to the planning officer and say, have a look at it and see what you think.
Have they given a development plan as well? Because, you know, how's all these building materials and everything getting down there?
Do you mean the construction management plan?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah, and that's a big concern for at least one neighbour.
Yeah.
You know, it is very disruptive and it is a very quiet area of the town. It's lovely.
I mean, it used to be lovely. It used to be this wonderfully little village in the middle of, is it Treloggan up there? Where is it?
Yeah, it's just off Treloggan, isn't it? Yeah, and again, you see, I've got, you know, for actually a really small site, I've got concern actually that most of the land is given over to the drive and car parking rather than the housing, which I think is a shame, which means they're definitely on this side trying to squeeze a lot into, you know,
Yeah.
a very small site.
Put some green bushes up.
Yeah, I think if it had been like 2 houses, I don't think we'd be discussing it so much. So we have a proposer, we have a seconder, so all those in favour of objection? Yeah.
I think it's one
And listen.
where we're expecting a bit more, you know, a bit more
We
investigation.
need more investigation into this in terms of overlooking the site plan, access,
Outlook from Luxon.
yeah, outlook on all sorts of directions.
I think I captured most of that.
Yeah.
The view of the heritage officer, was that something that
Yeah,
you
I
were
mean,
going
I'd like
to-
to speak. It is
Sort of
a
Francis
good
alluded
heritage
to it,
report,
so-
but I would
Yeah.
be interested in the view of that. But I mean, effectively, what it's saying is, yes, it's very historic. It's probably a non-designated heritage asset, but it's in ruins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised that it wasn't included on the list, to be honest. If somebody produces a heritage statement, it suggests that the heritage officer ought to have a look at it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the stuff online, then there aren't any listed buildings on there, but opposite it is a early medieval. It's got site and monument points, so you know there's medieval stuff within meters of it. So it is a very historical area of the town. Yeah, which is, yeah, it's just a shame. Yeah.
I've got one, which is the Common Manor Church. I think
Well, the church, no, that's listed. Hewis Hut.
that's
Not many.
two A's, 2 stars, which is Hewis Hut, and I've forgotten what the other one
I don't think we've got any grade 1 listed. Oh, so I've got them all highlighted at the moment. The yeah, the church.
But there really isn't many.
But we have the CISA
Yeah.
study that was done in 2003, and that tends to identify the historic buildings.
Yeah.
But they didn't go out as far as this. And it's taken as, if it's in there, then it could be a non-designated story. But I'm sure this one is. And I think, to be fair to them, that's what they're saying in the report.
Yeah.
It's just such a wreck that it's too far gone.
Yeah.
So my concern is more trying to cram four buildings
Yeah.
in.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
I can capture that.
Yeah, yeah.
In your comments.
Overdevelopment of the site.
That's all
Yeah, yeah.
planning applications.
Yes. Oh, hang on. Right. Okay. I need to get back to my agenda. Where's my agenda gone? There we are.
10 to 8.
10 to 8. I'm proposed to, I'll say half an hour extension. I think hopefully we'll be done much quicker than that. Seconder? Sandy seconded. All those in favour? Yeah, marvellous. Right, terms of reference. Risk assessment update. I love our risk assessment update. It's all gone quiet on that, I think, at the
I
moment.
need to talk to you about terms of reference, not
Okay.
this meeting, but I'm going to, and I'll perhaps have a quick chat with you at the end of the meeting about it,
Oh.
just
Oh.
quickly. But there is something that has arisen.
Okay.
And,
Oh, yes. No,
and-
yes.
Yeah,
yes,
and we
it's
are
been
going to
brought up.
have a quick look at it at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Let's get all these up.
Community governance review.
Yeah, that's our next sort of main one. So we're in a position where we can let's backtrack. 2019 there was a community governance review for the whole of the county, and for community governance review, read boundary review, boundary changes. And Newquay put in for some, got some of them, but didn't get some of the others. And we'll have a look at those in a minute. But Cornwall Council are, I think, recognising that not all of those changes were as exhaustive as they could have been, and we are one of those towns or parishes that they would have a look at the changes and see if there was
Just
anything wrong.
interrupt on that business,
Of
because
course.
we basically, a couple of years back ago, or maybe 3, we again tried to go back. Half the changes were recommended by the original panel, and the Cornwall Council, for reasons best known for itself, decided not to support the recommendations. We tried again about 3 years ago, and they went said, well, come back when there's some more planning permissions. And you can come back every 2 years, apparently. And the good news is they are doing a sort of mini government review. And basically what they've said to us is it's not a major one, it's not affecting everybody, but they're reasonably happy to listen to what we've got to say. Is that about it, Duncan?
I think so, but it's not we've been advised that it's not a decision for this committee to plough ahead with. It has to go to full council. Cornwall Council want a sort of kind of positive plan from us. Well, they'd like an idea of it during August, and they want a positive plan by the 4th of September. Full council need to give their backing to this, and they meet on the 2nd of September. So what I was going to suggest was that we have a quick look at the maps now, and then for our next meeting, I'll put together a form of words for that we can recommend to go to full council for the 2nd. Does that sound like a plan? Yeah. So we haven't got we haven't got too much decision making to make today, but I think if we sort of have a rough idea of what we want to do. So so I started off with some of the documents that we looked at before. This dates from about 2000, well, a little bit before 2019. It's the development proposals document, and it outlines various bits of Newquay that were to be developed at the time. The area that we're interested in, well, we're interested in a lot of areas, but it's what we think that we might be able to achieve is in this area here, NQM2. This area, if we look at this map here, it's this area where it says Lane and Quintrell Downs. It's not quite the whole area, but if we come down to the next, if we come down to the next page, this zooms in on that area. So what this is doing is this boundary here, which we did try and bring down to the A392. It did follow the rail line. We recommended that it come down to the A392. Unfortunately, on the day, Cornwall Council were swayed by the very eloquent John Fitter, and they wouldn't accept this part of the change. There were other bits, Priory Woods being one of them, that did go our way, but this did not.
And I can see that because it will be including this part of the village of Quintrell Downs, and I can see that. No, so I mean the suggestion that we sort of came up with and looked at the other day was to the Chapel Farm little road here. Yeah.
So the bottom map here is what, at the time, Cornwall Council's Constitutional and Governance Committee recommended that this area here become part of Newquay rather than Colon. But as I say, John Fitter's a very eloquent speaker, and he managed to talk everybody out of it in full council. So they had a recommendation and they didn't go for it, unfortunately. We have...
They gave us a little bit, they gave us the whole of the industrial site. The whole of the industrial site, and then the bit that is from the Morrison's roundabout to the road. They gave us that bit because that just didn't make sense, did it? It just went through the... Well,
I don't think we were overly ambitious with what we went for. It didn't go down well. Obviously, in Colon, you necessarily wouldn't expect it to. Anyway, that NQM2 area has been recipient of a couple of planning applications that we've looked at this year. The one on the left, development of 162 dwellings. The one on the right, up to, this was an outline application, up to 248 dwellings. So by my reckoning, that came out about 410 new dwellings. That would currently...
43 somewhere.
Yeah, I think that there is some more somewhere as well, but these are the two key ones in this area that we're looking at here.
Yeah, they're on the other side of the road.
Yeah, I think there's some over here as well. But this gives you an idea of the fact that, well, I mean, Colon would be about to get 410 extra dwellings just through the these two planning permissions. So there is good reason to go for this change. So I mean, it's really sort of what you think about it, and if you think that this is what we ought to propose. There are other changes that could be made, but this isn't a full boundary review. This is this is a small scale tweaking. So I think Joanna's of the view that we have to be reasonably modest in what we go for if we are going to secure
Yeah.
some sort of beneficial change.
I suggested this one up here, which it actually truncates the boundary. Can you zoom in on it a little bit more, Duncan? The holiday park. So I suggested, see, that's the holiday park then in the valley. And if for any reason in the future they went for, you know, like permanent mobile homes rather than a holiday park, it's actually truncated. So I suggested just dropping it down here. That's the only other bit that I thought. The road goes there to the holiday park, and then this boundary follows the road. But what I'm saying, at the moment, it truncates the holiday park there, whereas if it went straight down, it would
like to have something like a road or
yeah.
a street or something.
Yeah. But I mean, we've been quoted, haven't we, for like ironing out bumps, and that's an indent which I think could be ironed out.
That's
and this
a comment
one we
by
have
a planning inspector,
yeah.
not a governance,
Yeah.
not a governance professional. At the moment, you're looking at a minimum of 410 dwelling houses that would consider themselves part of Newquay, but would have no representation
They're all
as part of Newquay.
Newquay Urban Extension. In theory, we ought to go for Goldings and the land underneath as well, but we just won't get that.
We won't get that. So I think this is a reasonable compromise, which I think is gettable.
The only other change that might, because the western boundary is the lane that goes up to Chapel. And one of the things that we actually suggested was if you continue the boundary up the Chapel lane, it comes out at the school, and we were quite happy to pass the school and those fields, because it's a bonkers, absolutely, I don't think we got it right, it's a bonkers boundary with St Column, but I'm not going to offer that.
With Colon.
If they mention it, we could discuss it. I'm not against it, but it really is a bonkers boundary with Colon at that point.
Well, we've got the school.
Yeah, well, the idea would be that they get the school.
Oh, I see.
If you continue the lane up to...
It's about here, isn't it?
I think that it speaks for itself, this funny little bump.
Yeah, I think if we can get that, because I mean this has, you know, the road as the boundary stroke Ganul, and we got the little bit down here at Trevemper, didn't we?
And there's be careful because there's a bit of cubit there as well. But,
so I mean that was I'm quite happy going with what are people's thoughts on that. Do we need to vote on that then?
I think so. I just need a vote that instructs me to draft a recommendation to full council based upon
That.
the recommended boundary change from Cornwall Council
In 222.
from November 2022.
I'm happy to propose that. Seconder? Yeah, all those in favour? Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Duncan. And you can do something appropriate with maps that can go for full planning on the 2nd. Just hope we're clear.
Yeah, and then we will be making a recommendation for full council.
Yeah.
they're using our shops.
Yeah. Well, using everything,
Actually,
doctors,
it isn't
everything.
the parish boundary anymore, is it? Is that the original document?
Yeah, that's going back to the original one.
Yeah. Brilliant. Right. Okay.
It's basically coming down to. We're coming
road.
down to the A392, isn't it?
Yeah. Working parties.
Nothing much has happened.
Nothing's happened in the 2 weeks. No. We haven't had one.
Volunteers to do we've asked for volunteers to do it. I don't think anybody has actually come forward. So currently, I think it's just me and Nick.
For the neighbourhood priority statement.
Yeah.
No. It's we're looking better than that now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I've sent an email. I have been a bit slow out of the traps with this, but if I remember rightly, it's yourself, Sarah. You said that you would be part of this.
I would. Yes.
Lamorna has said that she will. Val Martin has expressed an interest. Jessie has expressed an interest, and then there was Nick as well, and there was Margaret. So what I suggested, I have been a bit slow out the traps for this, but I am trying to move it forward. What I suggested was there's an online, one of their online engagement events on the 12th. So what I was suggesting was that anybody who can attend that, and we could do it here if needs be,
that
and all
12th of
sit
August?
together. 12th of August, yeah.
What time?
I think it's 10:30 till 11:30.
No, I can't do that.
But
But please meet up with help me.
if some of us can though,
Yeah.
and I was thinking maybe we could follow it up with the sort of first meeting of the working party. I'm feeling if we sat down and did one of these engagement events, sat down together and did it.
That's at 10:30 on...
Wednesday,
12th.
next Wednesday.
Well, next Wednesday.
I think that's a really good idea, to say, let's go to the event. How long is it?
An hour.
And then maybe schedule an initial working party. Bear in mind that Sarah can't make it.
Yeah.
An initial working party afterwards. So
Yeah.
we can just...
Yeah.
I think Karen may have expressed an interest as well, but obviously she's limited
She's
in what.
working. Well, she's got her shop, isn't she?
But yeah, we could. I think that would give us. I think that would
It'll give us a bit-
help.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
would
yeah.
help in everybody's understanding of
Yeah.
what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
There's been some interesting commentary about. I think they are phrasing it wrong, but there was a training session that came up in Cornwall Council, and they said basically neighbourhood plans were a thing of the past. And I said, do you mean that? And they came back and said, well, no, we don't quite mean it quite like that. But every plan, most of the plans are due up on 2030, which is when the local plan is due up. So they will all be out of whatever limited power they have. But it's not at all clear. They sort of said, which was interesting, is we want a single document. At the moment we've got DVDs and we've got the neighbourhood plans, and they are talking about a single document with appendices. And they're almost saying for the new neighbourhood plan, there won't, for the new local plan, there won't be any neighbourhood plans. They will just be sitting underneath somewhere.
And that's what this priority statement is going to be.
Yeah.
But that might be what Cornwall Council want, but the National Association of Local Councils aren't suggesting that that's the way it's going at all.
No.
And it's the funding that's ending.
Yeah, there's no funding anymore.
Yeah. We've got a lot of really good policies that would be a real shame to sort of throw them in the bin.
Well, I think we've got a lot of good policies. I think plans were lasted very well. We've also got a lot of good appendices. So we've got the shopfront guide, we've got the character study. Might need a little bit of tweaking, but basically the character study is still there. So we've got
open
we will
spaces,
have the
haven't we?
cliffs
Yeah.
policy because we're doing
Yeah.
that statement now.
Yeah.
So effectively, the document will be quite small, saying our priorities are protecting the cliffs, keeping the character of the area, doing something with our shop front. See Appendix A or B.
Yeah.
I think that's.
It'll be a lot of appendices, isn't it? And it'll be taking out the neighbourhood plan sections and attaching them with appendices
things like
as well.
the valued landscape. I'm not going
Yeah.
to lose those. But
Yeah.
it will be a sentence. We value our cliff tops. Appendix. This is what this is why we
Yeah.
But they are really pushing the fact that we need to engage with people in Newquay, and too right as well, because this would go up to. I mean, in some ways, this is asking, what do you want Newquay to look like in 2050? I mean, I don't know about other people; they'll probably be dead by then. So
Yeah,
it would be.
it won't be
would
my problem then.
It would
Yeah.
be quite good to, if we could tap in, and I've kind of maybe got some ideas how we could tap into maybe a younger audience, possibly.
Well,
We
the
did quite
cliff,
well.
the cliff thing has got funding of a younger audience engagement.
Yeah.
So
We did
And they're
well,
gonna be trained
quite
in
well
that.
with engaging the community. We used to do sessions at the Fish Festival, and we did quite well in engaging the community and getting a long list. And people, but it was all, at the end of the day, it came down to the same 15 or 20 people who we were expecting to be interested in. So, but yes, we do need to.
Francis.
I know, I just need to go.
Okay.
Because you often need to go.
Thank you.
See you all soon.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Bye.
Bye.
Anyway, I think it's the most difficult thing about it probably is setting up a steering group. And I mean, we did it with the neighbourhood plan, so it can't be that difficult. You just go.
But it was exciting though that we've got actually that funding, hopefully then
Yeah, so that's a big
do
section.
training for young people from 18 to 30 age group that they were looking for, to give them, to run meetings and all sorts of things, exciting things that can be. Yes, it would. Yeah.
So the idea is that if we would you contact the people who've expressed an interest and say, would you be able to come at 10:30?
I have sent an email out this afternoon.
Oh,
It was
right,
later this
okay.
afternoon along those lines. Come back to me if you've got if there's any different ideas
Can
or
I give
anything
my-
like that. But I thought that might be a good way of getting us moving. Do an hour's session and then sit down and have a chat about
Yeah.
it and see where we
Are
go.
you working that morning?
I shall be,
Yes,
yes.
so
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm going to the food hub at Age Concern to give that a little boost. So
I'll send
yeah.
out a meeting request and just
Yeah. Thank you. Brilliant. Financial statement? Nothing changed there?
No. No purchases, no payments authorised. I'd just say that we are Anne is starting to chase people about budgets. One thing that we need to establish is this neighbourhood priority statement going to have any cost for us? So
We don't know, do we?
Yeah, so that's something that we might need to have sort of, scratch our heads about a little
Part
bit.
of it will be probably staff costs. We did a lot of studies which we employed people to do for us, like the character study and like the what was the other one we did? We had a couple that we actually paid people to do for us. But that work is still good, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what we would. It's actually the consultation that takes.
We
the money.
have got money in the kitty that we've saved for redoing the neighbourhood plan, which
Yeah.
we should be able to then use for the priority
But
statement.
we might be able to get some set aside for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to properly consult the people of Newquay, which means delivering something to every door, I mean, that's going to cost at least £10,000. That's, yeah, it's not cheap.
We'll see what they're recommending, because I think that they're looking at more of an online,
Yeah,
and
it'll be online.
they are
yeah.
looking to include us on the Let's Talk Cornwall page.
But as we've discovered, you can do that people don't communicate unless they get something through the door. That's when they start operating. I don't think we should do stamped envelopes as we did before, because that is expensive. But I think we may have to think about, if we want to literally involve the community, it does mean a sort of bulk delivery, which is expensive.
Yeah.
Well, that's food.
So we need to consult with Anne about that then with budgets. Yeah. Other correspondence?
You probably will have seen the email. Elborough Care Services, they are wishing
Children
to
homes.
engage with us regarding setting up one or more registered children's homes in Newquay. I've provided them with information about our presentation slots, and they've got back to me, and they're just going to get their ducks in a row, and they will get back to us. I think they said that they bought 3 properties down Trevemper. Yeah, I don't know any more about it, but I thought that was worth mentioning anyway, for a presentation at some point in the future.
Weekly decision list. I don't think there was anything thrilling on that, was there?
Jewson's Timber Yard.
Oh yes, Jewson's Timber Yard. Yes, they've got it.
Yeah, 28 dwellings on that
Yeah.
site.
Yeah.
And the other one I thought was maybe worthy of mention was the yoga studio on 18 Pentire.
Sorry?
The yoga, do you remember
But the yoga studio.
I assume they've got that.
Yes, they've got
Yeah.
that. Other
Yeah.
than
We supported both of those, didn't we?
Yes, yeah, we did. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, we were quite involved with the timber yard one, weren't we? Because we
Yes.
went up to the site. It was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
interesting.
Right, so that's that. And our next planning meeting is Wednesday, the 19th of August at 6 o'clock. So we'll look forward to seeing you all there. And good luck if you're up at Boardmasters, because I know you would have been riveted with the meeting tonight. That there's a peak viewing that's sucked all the broadband out of the ether. Wonderful, thank you. Evening.